Good. I'm sure you had more things. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing right. Put it all in. I'm sure.
Reading to them?
Yes. And we talked about, if we're saying reading to, what is there something about frequency we might need to think about? Yeah, reading to often, daily would be a great idea. But then what do students need to do? If we want them to work on fluency, yeah, they need daily opportunity to read. That's the place where they practice any skill that we are talking about, not just fluency, but any particular strategy or skill. But let's oh yes, Sandra. No.
With that daily reading at their appropriate level and reading to each other.
Yes. So text selection goes there. Can we put partner reading here? Reading to each other. Really useful, really easy to set up, but really purposeful. With the daily opportunity for reading, text selection's part of that. Can we expand this further and be really clear? Are there some things that we need to consider to make that daily reading more purposeful in relation particularly to fluency? They are rereading, so it's the concept of re-entering text. Yeah.
I used to just use our guided reading that they've already had.
Okay.
In a box and they could select from then.
Yes.
So little students and they filled up.
Yep. So familiar text has to be available. Also relates to text selection and the concept of re-entering text. And I think Jo was heading down this track. What are the things that you're going to have set up in your room for making that familiar text available to them for fluency practice? Pardon? Pardon, Lynn? Yeah. Yeah, book tubs of familiar text and library corner, and it is possible to have individual book boxes. So book boxes, whether it's group book boxes of familiar text or individual book boxes, library corner.
Daily independent reading.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's daily independent reading, needs to be built into our programs, not just for fluency, but for practicing and opportunity to apply any reading strategy that we're talking to them about. Remember, we said this morning, one of the things that helps is having the opportunity. In our learning, what helps us is having opportunity to do the practicing. So there is something really easy to set up in your school, daily opportunity for independent reading, and it has such an impact on all aspects of our reading strategy teaching. Yeah. Other ideas?
I know you have to watch them with the big books, but with little kids I found that when you read a big book with them, that they will love to go to that.
Yes.
Independent.
Yeah.
Reread it.
Yeah. And
Already had some success.
yeah, because they've been exposed to it and the motivation is there and it's a more familiar text. A poem that you've read to them or with them can go into book boxes or into the library corner to be reread. Big books, poems, anything that they've had exposure to. Other ideas?
What about reading their peers' work, written work? Sharing
Okay.
good written work that
Yeah.
others have written in class.
In terms of fluency, I'm not sure that is the way that I would choose to go. I would certainly do that in a context for writing. I'm not sure if that would support fluency. Okay, any other ideas?
We just sort of thought, even with your show and tell and opportunity for storytelling, even without text to begin with.
Yeah.
Just, I know with our kids they have lots of trouble just putting a sentence together orally.
Storytelling orally, yep. And we did talk about this concept last year, putting the press on our students to speak in full sentences. Can anyone see the link to fluency there? It's how texts are written. And if I'm not speaking in full sentences in my everyday conversations, how much harder will it be for me to speak and read in full sentences in the reading context, where I've got a whole lot of other things that I want to bring together as well? Helen?
I'm just thinking about how
You do. Yep. Yes.
You're trying to keep fluency on newspapers, particularly the Sun, are written apart because the way that they're written is somewhat
Yeah.
a bad model for the kids.
Yeah. The text selection, coming back to the point up here, familiar texts that are easy, that will suit the purpose. They must suit the purpose. Yeah. You wouldn't use newspapers. If you want phrasing to be in place, you need to choose books that lend themselves to being read in a phrased way. If you want students to read dialogue in a fluent way, obviously you need to have the books there that are going to support that. Yeah. Text selection extremely important, matching the selection to your teaching purpose.